T.O. Blaze.
Hey there, this is Tio bringing another Kerbal Space Program video. Today I'm going to be doing a rescue of my Lazarus mission on Minmus using a Ranger from the movie Interstellar. I absolutely loved Interstellar. It's supposedly relatively realistic as far as sci-fi goes. I like Matthew McConaughey. I just like the movie. I liked Matt Damon's role as well. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. But this is my career mode, and I thought this was going to be an appropriate video to share with you guys because it illustrates something I'm trying to do to make my career mode more playable. So late game KSP1 can be challenging because the more craft files you have, the more vehicle saves you have. I feel like the game just gets really clunky. The physics can glitch. The Kraken appears more frequently, so it makes my career mode somewhat unplayable, which is unfortunate because I've got a few videos in progress and a little series in progress. So something that I'm doing to make my career mode more playable is getting rid of old crafts. And in order to do that, such as my Lazarus mission landed on Minmus, I'm sending this Ranger. So the purpose of this video is actually to clear up vehicles in currently in space around out in space. So the Ranger, I've got several different iterations of them, and this one, it's purely designed for re-entry. So in the movie Interstellar, the Ranger uses some sort of future technology to act as an SSTO. But in KSP, with the engines we have, and honestly, with the flight characteristics of that shape that the Ranger has, it's really, really difficult to act as a plane in atmosphere. So it's perfectly fine in vacuum. It's got plenty of fuel and thrust to weight to do what it needs to do in vacuum, especially around Minmus. But it's not able to take off from Kerbin or from any or Eve or Lathe, any of the places with air with gas rather. So it's not realistic in that sense, but again, for the purpose of this video, it just needs to do a vacuum rescue and then an atmospheric landing. This Ranger should hopefully do the trick. So on screen, you can see one of the larger vehicles that I have floating around in KSP at the moment in my career mode. This is the Endurance. I'd launched this many months ago, probably a year and a half ago now. Or actually, no, it's been more than a couple years that this thing's been floating around out here in real life, not just in game years. And there you see on the bottom the another Ranger style that I had used. That one's actually not capable of atmospheric landing. This one's not either, but it's somewhat capable. So two different versions of Rangers there. And I'm going to go ahead and transfer my Kerbal in a second. And I'll also need to refuel my Ranger before I send it back to Kerbin. But let's go ahead and move my Kerbinaut into a lander on EVA mode. I think moving around in EVA mode is more interesting for YouTube. I'm going to put some fuel in my lander and send the lander down. And the goal is to land next to the Lazarus mission and retrieve all the Kerbals. I think there's one Kerbal down there. Bring them back up to the Endurance. Transfer all Kerbals to the Ranger, and at that point I'll be able to delete the Endurance station and the Lazarus station and clear up some of my vehicles. So there you see how the lander handles pretty well. Oh, got a latch that opened up by accident. That's one of the quirks of the game, I think, that your robotic parts tend to just go they go soft, for lack of a better term, and you have to readjust their tension. But anyway, there's the landing zone down below on the ice sheet. That's where I parked the Lazarus, and I go ahead and touch down, and got a solar panel on the bottom that I accidentally staged, so I have to put that back in. But I feel like the lander handles pretty well. Flying around Minmus I find it's a lot of fun because the gravity is very low, very forgiving. So you can treat your vacuum rated vehicles and landers sort of like atmospheric vehicles that obviously don't provide lift with landing with lifting surfaces, but they don't sink towards the ground nearly as quickly as you would around the Mun or other vehicles. So there you see my Lazarus mission. It's got it has a drill at the bottom. I intended to do some other things around in this area, but ended up not. And as I said before, it's not a permanent fixture in my KSP YouTube future. So time to get rid of the station. And it's actually got a lot of science in that mobile processing lab that I will be sacrificing, which is not a big deal because I unlocked the tech tree a long time ago. But yeah, so that's it for the Lazarus mission. No sabotage on this particular voyage. Dr. Mann and his robot bomb that he put in the movie. Sorry if I'm spoiling anything. Should have mentioned that. No spoilers ahead. Don't watch if you're planning to watch the movie. But going back up to the Endurance and docking. Gonna make sure my Ranger is fully fueled. Transfer all my Kerbinauts again, and send them on home. Here's our typical rendezvous style. Like to match inclinations, pick one point on the orbit to match completely and get to that point, and then figure out how many circularizations it will take to rendezvous, and then I'll pinpoint the rendezvous from there. So I'm gonna try to go ahead and park this bad boy. The first time I set this station up, this was kind of a pain in the butt, especially with the docking ports on the bottom like that, and with the weird goofy shapes of the Rangers and the landers. Their center of mass is hard to pinpoint with the RCS thrusters. So maybe KSP2 is going to give us more tools to help calculate the best placement for RCS thrusters. But for now, I had to eyeball it, and we managed to dock pretty easily on this video. So kind of overshot my my return trajectory, spit me out past Min-Miss's orbit, but I'm going to go ahead and enter Kerbin's atmosphere pretty soon. And like I said, this vehicle, it's not very aerodynamic, so boop, there I'm going to go and flip around retrograde, which is probably an uncomfortable position for the Kerbals, but so be it. Slow down very quickly here in the thicker parts of the atmosphere, and hopefully I can right this thing so that it lands on its bottom. But it's getting to the end of the video, so hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully my game will behave better now so that I can record some more footage for you guys. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys real soon.